Alright, Sailor's Journal, Friday, April 26th, 05:30, round up, 05:30 a.m. It's been actually a pretty busy day. I work nights, so on Thursday, 7 p.m. I started my shift, and in the beginning it was pretty calm. Not a lot of customers, but at like 2 a.m. to about like 05, we got like, I don't know, like I think had to deal with like 40 customers, 40 parts, right, separately. So it's just me and one other person that process these parts, so it got pretty freaking busy. But still, pretty good day. Just finished eating breakfast. Is that blurry? Alright. Just finished eating breakfast, and yeah, just another end to a good day. So there's a lot of challenges that's going to be ahead of me. The immediate future, my chief, who's in charge of my work center, he's leaving soon. So my chief is a very good guy that created a very family culture, and we don't know what chief we're gonna get next, right? We could get a chief, and usually how, from my experience, right, 3 years and 10 months in the Navy now, from my experience, usually system will be in place, right? For example, let's say, this chair, we work hard to build this chair, right? And this chair is the system that we put in place. And then somebody new, higher up, comes in and says, you know what, I don't like how this chair looks. We're gonna do it differently. And usually, the people who have been building this chair will say like, wait, it's perfectly fine. Let's not mess it up. Let's continue as we were doing. But then usually, people who come in brand new like to, shake the tree a little bit, make it seem like they're making a difference, which they are in either maybe a positive or a negative way. But usually for the negative, creates a lot of friction, and people complain like, we had it fine. Why come in and try to reinvent the wheel? So I feel like that's going to be the case when the new chief comes, and hopefully I get a pretty good chief, because really there's a saying, there's a sailor saying, right? A calm sea never made a skillful sailor. But in my opinion, right, a calm chain of command never made a skillful sailor, right? So throughout my military career, I've had so many different chain of commands that it kind of made me adapt, and it kind of made me the person that I am today. In the beginning, I gave full force effort, but over time, you just get defeated. And my captain, my commanding officer, basically, at one point I had to talk to him, and he was like, I don't care if you stay in the Navy or not, right? So after that, I was like, well, my chain of command doesn't back me up, because I was trying to go to Brazil. When you are in the military and you're trying to take vacation to another country, right, you put in a request, right? And so I've notified my higher ups, from my chief, senior chief, to my officer, division officer. I was like, hey, I'm letting you know now, I'm trying to go to Brazil, right? I've let them know for months, and the time came, put my paperwork in, put my request in, and so did other people, right? And other people got accepted, right? But I was that middle tipping point when they started to realize, oh wait, too many people are going on vacation, you can't go anymore. And I'm just like, why? Right? My division officer is going on vacation next week, right? I'm just trying to go on vacation in a month, but I've let you know that I'm going on vacation for like 6 months now, but you're just now coming here and saying I can't go, right? I bought my plane ticket, I bought my hotel and everything, but why screw me over now? And it's not my chain of command's fault, immediate chain of command. It's how this thing goes is like, there's me, E4, right? And there's a first class, E6, and then there's an E7 chief, and then there's a E8 senior chief, and then there's an E9 master chief. That's how the chain of command structure goes. And then there's also my division officer from the O level, from the, you know, and it goes all the way. And my SUPO 05, head of department, basically he was being yelled at by the 06 executive officer, not the captain, but the executive officer. Basically, my 05 couldn't back me up. He could have really stood there and fought for me, right? He knew me. He knows that I've worked hard for him for a long time, but he couldn't back me up. He couldn't do the right thing. And after that, my mood for the military turned sour, and I requested Captain's Mast, which is basically I requested an audience with the captain, and I explained my case. And the captain basically, you know, he shot me down. No matter what I said, he already had it in his mind that he's not going. So basically, it didn't really matter how many people were still going to go on vacation. It's just that this guy is not going. It was unbelievable. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but some injustice happened. Right, it happens to everybody. It happens to me. It will happen to you. Varying degrees from whatever you're trying to do, but yeah. And you know, for me, after that, I'm leaving, going to a different department, put my expertise and put my work ethic into somebody else. So, in the end, you know, it's got its pros and cons. It helps me and it hurts me in some ways because now I'm in this new department and I'm basically that supply guy, right? Because AIND is, you know, air raids and AMs, the ADs, the AEs, and ASs. They're running the show. They're the stars. I'm just the support. So at this point, I'm just trying to ride out my time and you know, do my short command, or if I can't get a good short command, just get out of the Navy and move on with my life. Right now, as of this moment, we're somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea. Earlier today or yesterday, I think we were with John C. Stennis, kind of doing a dual operation. But John C. Stennis came up from the Suez Canal, from the Middle East area, came up, and then we're like passing by because Stennis is going to go to Virginia, which by the time you're watching this, they're already clearly in Virginia. And we joined up, hooked up, did a dual operation for a little bit, which was pretty cool to see the pictures. Alright, so Yoon Kim signing out.